So you want to make a portfolio website with Claude Code that's actually award-winning quality? Well, here's the problem. Most portfolio websites look exactly the same. Generic templates, boring layouts, and they get completely ignored by potential clients. Because look, I get it. You think that you need years of design experience or expensive tools to create something that actually stands out. And most people just grab a template, they throw their work onto it, and then wonder why nobody's reaching out. But here's what I discovered. With Claude Code, you can build a portfolio that looks like it cost thousands of dollars, even if you have zero design skills. Now I'm talking clean layouts and smooth interactions and that premium feel that makes people actually want to work with you. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the exact structure that makes visitors stay and then take action. I'll show you the small design tweaks that can instantly make your site look 10x better and how to position your work so it actually converts visitors into paying clients. So we're going to start with the foundation that separates amateur sites from professional ones. Then I'm going to show you the interaction patterns that keep people engaged, and finally, how to structure your work so it tells a story that sells. So that by the end of this video, you're going to have a portfolio where you're actually proud of it and want to share it, one that gets results, not just compliments. Now, if you want to master AI tools and learn how to build profitable websites, SaaS apps, AI agents, and mobile apps with AI, I've created a complete masterclass that shows you exactly how to do it step by step. And this masterclass normally costs $299 to join, but since you're watching this video, you can join completely free. Just check out that link in the description below to get free access to my masterclass, and you can start building your AI-powered business today. Before getting into the actual build here, let's think about what usually happens when someone tries to create a portfolio for the first time. You open up a few tools, you watch a couple of tutorials, and suddenly it feels like there's way more to figure out than expected, right? Instead of focusing on your work, you end up trying to understand how everything works behind the scenes. And a lot of beginners assume that the best way to build an impressive portfolio is to go straight into Claude Code. And it sounds like the most powerful option, so it feels like the correct starting point. Problem is that once you actually try to use it directly, it quickly becomes clear that it's not designed for beginners. Working with Claude Code means dealing with web development itself. You are responsible for how everything is built, how the structure works, and how the site behaves across different devices. It also comes with everything outside the design, which includes hosting and domain setup and security and maintenance. It's a lot. And all of that has to be handled manually. Getting to a point where the site looks clean and professional takes time as well. It's not something that just comes together quickly and magically, and it can take weeks to reach a usable result. Small technical issues can also show up along the way, and those details can affect how the final portfolio is perceived. And this is where the shift happens though. The process stops being about presenting your work and starts becoming more about managing the technical side of building a website. Base 44 changes that completely. Base 44 works on top of Claude, using it as a language model, but the entire platform is already structured to handle the technical side for you. And that's hosting, and responsiveness, and deployment, and overall layout. Those are already implemented, so you are not starting from scratch. The process becomes more direct and easier to manage. You focus on guiding the build and shaping how your portfolio looks, and while the system handles the parts that usually slow people down. And this also makes the result a lot more stable and reliable, which just matters when the portfolio is meant to be shared professionally. Now, the difference between the two approaches here becomes clear once you look at what is required. Claude Code, on its own, needs technical knowledge to produce something polished. Base 44 removes that requirement by having everything already in place. In simple terms, Base 44 gives Claude's creative intelligence inside a platform that is built to create complete and professional websites without the usual complexity. When people hear award-winning portfolio, they usually imagine something overly complex or visually overwhelming. And in reality, it comes down to a few key things that work together in a very intentional way. And the first is storytelling. A strong portfolio does more than just display projects in a grid. It presents your work in a way that feels connected, where each piece contributes to a bigger picture. So instead of isolated outputs, it shows progression and decisions and purpose behind what you've created. User experience plays a big role as well. A well-built portfolio guides visitors naturally from one section to the next. There's a clear flow and nothing feels confusing or out of place. People know where to look and also what to click and how to keep exploring without thinking too much about it. Technical quality is another factor that cannot be ignored. The site needs to load properly, feel smooth, and look consistent across devices. Small details like spacing, responsiveness, and performance all contribute to how professional the portfolio feels the moment it opens. And at the same time, personality is what separates one portfolio from another. Many websites just end up looking the same because they rely too heavily on templates. A portfolio that stands out has its own tone, its own style, and a clear sense of identity that reflects the person behind the work. There's also a practical side to it. A portfolio should not only look good, it should lead somewhere. The structure needs to make it easy for someone to take the next step, whether that is reaching out to you, starting a project, or exploring more of your work. And without that, it just becomes something people look at and then leave without action. And this is where using Base 44 with Claude adds another layer. The system can shape content in a way that feels more tailored, adjusting how projects are presented and helping create a more engaging experience overall. So instead of a static layout, the portfolio feels more intentional and aligned with the type of work being shown. And all of these elements come together to create something that feels really complete. And it's not about adding more features, but more about making sure that each part works together in a way that keeps people interested and moves them towards a decision. And now we move into the actual build, and everything here is being done inside Base 44, which uses Claude as its language model. Before adding any sections, the focus is on planning. So this is where most of the impact comes from, because a good portfolio is not just about how it looks, but who it is built for and what it is meant to achieve. And that means defining the target audience and being clear about the goal, whether that is getting clients, landing a job, or attracting specific types of projects. Using Base 44's planning mode, Claude helps shape that direction. It looks at how strong portfolios are structured, then helps create a positioning that feels more intentional instead of generic. And this step is less about design and more about making sure that everything has a purpose before anything gets built. And to guide that process, we'll use this prompt. I want to build an award-winning portfolio website for a creative professional. The portfolio should include a compelling hero section with a unique value proposition, intuitive navigation that guides the user journey, strategic work showcase with interactive case studies, clear conversion paths to contact and hire me, responsive design for all devices, and subtle animations. The goal is to turn visitors into clients. Can you help me plan the site structure and positioning to create maximum impact? And from there, the structure starts to take shape. The hero section is planned around a clear value proposition. The work section is designed to highlight projects through case studies instead of just visuals. And interactive elements are included to keep visitors engaged as they move through the site. Navigation is set up to feel natural, and there are clear paths for someone to reach out or start a conversation with you. And so everything at this stage is intentional. The goal is to build a portfolio that not only looks good, but also guides visitors towards taking action. And once that foundation is set, then the rest of the build becomes much easier to execute. But here's the thing, as you've seen, Base 44 is incredibly powerful, but most people don't even know how to use it properly. They end up building basic apps that don't make money or websites that can't even convert. And that's exactly why I created my complete Base 44 Masterclass. Inside my course, I'm going to show you step by step how to build profitable SaaS businesses, high converting websites, and mobile apps, all using AI with zero coding required. You'll learn how to build SaaS apps that solve real problems and generate recurring revenue, along with the exact prompts and the strategies that I use to create professional websites in minutes, and also how to clone the successful apps and then add your own profitable twist, along with my proven system for turning Base 44 projects into actual income streams. This is not just theory. I'm going to walk you through those builds. I'm going to show you my exact process, and I'll give you the templates and the frameworks that have helped my students launch their own successful AI-powered businesses. And this masterclass normally costs $299 to join, but only for the people that are watching this video. Thank you. You can join completely free. So if you're serious about building something profitable with AI in 2026, click that link in the description to join my Base 44 Masterclass. Your future self, I promise you, will thank you for taking action today instead of just watching another tutorial. Now we'll move from planning into actually building the portfolio. And this is where Base 44's app building feature comes in. Everything is powered by Claude, so instead of manually putting pieces together, the build just happens through guided prompts and structured keyword generation. So to start the build, let's use this prompt. I want to build an award-winning portfolio website for a creative professional. The portfolio should include a compelling hero section with a unique value proposition, intuitive navigation that guides the user journey, strategic work showcase with interactive case studies, clear conversion paths to contact and hire me, responsive design for all devices, and subtle animations. The goal is to turn visitors into clients. So the first focus is the hero section. And this is where the site makes its first impression, so it needs to immediately catch attention without feeling overwhelming. And Base 44 generates a clean layout with dynamic elements that give it some movement and presence, making the section feel alive instead of just static. At the same time, the navigation is built alongside it. It's structured in a way that naturally guides visitors through the portfolio without confusion. Each section flows into the next, so there's no guesswork involved in where to go or what to explore next. Responsiveness is handled during the build as well, and the layout adjusts across different screen sizes automatically. So now the site maintains the same quality whether it's viewed on a desktop screen, a tablet, or a phone. And this part usually takes extra effort when done manually, but here it's already built into the process for us. Subtle animations and interactions are also applied throughout the site, and these are not meant to distract really, but to add small moments of feedback and movement that make the whole experience feel smoother and more polished. And all of this works because Base 44 uses Claude to interpret design decisions at a deeper level. It understands how layout, spacing, and interaction affect the first impression and applies those principles during the build. The technical side is handled in the background, which allows the focus to stay on shaping the portfolio and presenting the work effectively. And when you look at most portfolios, the projects are usually just sitting there in a grid. You click one, you see a few images, maybe read a short description, and that's it. It works, but it doesn't really give people a reason to stay or explore further. And that's why our goal here is to turn that into something more engaging, where each project feels like an experience instead of just a display. So here's the prompt we're going to use. Add an interactive work showcase section with advanced portfolio features. Create project case studies that transform static portfolio pieces into interactive experiences with before and after comparisons, image galleries, and detailed descriptions. Implement intelligent project categorization with filtering by type, industry, or skill. Add smart project recommendations that suggest related work based on what visitors are viewing. Include dynamic project descriptions with expandable details, client testimonial integrations, and engaging visual presentations. Make the showcase visually impressive with smooth transitions and interactive elements that keep visitors engaged. And after running this prompt, Base 44 will use Claude to turn a basic portfolio grid into something much more interactive. Projects are no longer just static cards. Each one becomes a case study that can be explored with before and after comparisons, image galleries, and more detailed explanations of the work. And the layout also becomes easier to navigate because projects can now be filtered by type, industry, or skill, which helps visitors find what they are interested in without having to go through everything manually themselves. There are also smart recommendations that suggest related work based on what is currently being viewed, which then keeps the experience just moving forward. Descriptions adjust as needed, expanding to show more details, including testimonials, without making the section feel cluttered. Small transitions and interactions are also applied across the section, giving it a more smoother and refined feel. On the surface, it may look like a standard portfolio section, but most of these features are dynamic and powered by Claude. And that difference makes the entire experience feel more responsive and thoughtfully put together. So at this point, the portfolio already looks pretty complete. It shows the work, it explains the background, and guides people through the projects. And now the only thing missing is a clear way to turn that interest into an actual opportunity. We can generate this by using this prompt. Add a contact and conversion system. Create a contact form with fields for name, email, project type, budget, and details. Build a project estimation calculator that shows approximate costs based on scope and timeline. Add an availability calendar with booking slots for consultations. Include a testimonial sections displaying client reviews with ratings. Add clear call to action buttons encouraging visitors to reach out with multiple contact options. Make all forms professional with validation and success messages. So once that prompt is applied, the portfolio shifts from being just a showcase into something more functional. The contact form collects structured inquiries, making it easier to understand what potential clients are looking for. The project estimation tool gives a rough idea of pricing based on scope and timeline, which helps set expectations early. An availability calendar is also added, allowing visitors to book consultations directly without having to go back and forth. The testimonial section reinforces trust by showing client feedback in a dynamic way, which adds another layer of credibility. And all of this works together as a complete system. So instead of just viewing the portfolio and then leaving, visitors have clear next steps that they can take immediately. Base 44 handles the technical side behind these features, from form validation to booking functionality, so everything just works smoothly without needing any manual setup from you. What we have here then is a portfolio that not only presents the work, but also supports the entire process of turning visitors into actual clients. All right, so that is the full process. Nothing complicated, just starting with the right structure, building each section with purpose, and then just making sure that everything leads somewhere. And most portfolios fail because they stop at looking good. And this one is built to actually do something. And if you want to try it, just reuse the prompt, swap in your own work, and then build it the same exact way. Links in the description down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you at the next one.